Sitting here thinking about a lot of stuff I could put in videos, but it's not likely I'll ever put enough effort in to be monetized or anything, so I don't have much equipment for making videos and stuff like that, so I haven't taken that part very seriously. But the reason I put out videos is because of the amount of stuff that I've learned from watching other people's do's and don'ts and their experiences with different pieces of equipment. And if I can put out a video and it helps someone in that way, I mean, then I can give back. And that was really my original intention. And then YouTube got all fancy with, you know, monetizing some people and limiting people, which was never my goal. So beyond that, I've got this video playing. I'm not going to bother to learn how to dub sound over it, recording my own video ghetto style here, but this driveway, there's a lot, just me watching my own video of this driveway, there's a lot to learn. This was last spring. I was plowing. We had 2 large storms in New England, in Maine, March or April or something there. April, I guess they were. It ended up being our 2 biggest storms of the year. This driveway that you've seen me plow here is one that I'd never done before. It was right in my route, and one of the other local contractors, whatever you want to call him, he's an older guy, and he had some equipment break down, and it was so frustrating for him. I heard this from several of his customers. I had calls from half a dozen of his customers. He threw in the towel. It was late in the season. He wasn't going to get this. I don't know what broke. But, so I was, admittedly, I mean, these people needed someone to plow for this blizzard, and also, you know, after that, the guy said he was done permanently. So I was kind of fishing for new customers, but there's a lot of things. My routine driveways that I do not look like this. This is bullshit. Most people are in bed when, you know, the snow's heavy on the trees and they don't see this. Taking $60,000 or more worth of equipment, someone expects you to drive down through all that. Yeah. Beyond that, I mean, it should have been trimmed back. Beyond that, the guy left it narrow. And there's frozen snowbanks in there. You can see along in there to the left, if you can even see. So all these things are reasons why it's, you know, I don't know what's there for rocks. This is a risk. I mean, obviously, if he's narrow like that and I can't even get out in there, probably not going to hit a rock. But I didn't end up keeping this one. I only did it for these 2 storms. She wasn't happy with the price that I was asking for, and I wasn't happy with the driveway. She didn't want to trim it back, and the driveway ended up being a pain in the ass. This is, if it was just this, you know, that would have been one thing. But as you'll see in a minute, it goes down around the other side of the house. And I'll tell you what, having this video of me doing this taught me a lot of things that I forgot. And it also showed me the time that it took me to do it, because she tried to badger me down on price, and when I saw the amount of time I had on this, it's like nearly 20 minutes in this one residence, I wouldn't back down on my price, because I know my work is worth, and my equipment's worth more than what she was trying to ask for. And if I hadn't seen the timestamp on the video of 20 minutes, you know, 19 minutes and something, I would have I actually was considering backing down on price until I saw that timestamp. But I don't normally record my route or my plowing, but I really would like to start doing it, because I've learned so much from just the few places I have recorded. And also, if a customer ever accused you wrongly or rightly of damaging something like a fence or the building or something like that, I think one of these videos would go a long ways in helping you get that sorted out. And I have a couple older, well, they're not that old at all, you know, last edition Android phones that take a SD card, and I was reading about old things to do with old phones, and they said, you know, if you set it up as a dash cam essentially with a mount in your car, swap SD cards out. I think I'm really interested in doing something like that. I mean, I used to plow driveways for everybody I plowed for I knew locally, and that's changed. I mean, the community we live in here, there's a lot of snow in here, and the guy that was doing it's got it all choked up, so I can't push anything back very much. And this is in April, so I mean, why even try to push the stuff back? But if she had been a bit more appreciative of the work I did and the drive, you're going to see, I'm going to have to go down in here and I'll point out. Yeah, and she had a Prius, which in my experience is the worst car ever made for snow. Shouldn't even be allowed on the road when it's snowing. You know, these folks are very fortunate to have the luxury to live quarter mile off from a side road, off from the pavement, you know, and there's a price to be paid for that luxury. People forget that. I don't mean to wave my finger here, but it can be frustrating when people, you know, they've got these expansive properties with a bunch of acreage, and they think you're going to do the driveway for what it was done for the same price for 30 years. And I've gone over a bunch of insurance stuff and added. What happened? That's nice. Alright, I guess we're back. Where are we? We're still over here. We need to get down in. Yeah. Now this is where I didn't care for it. He's got all these big, I mean, there's a lot of snow packed in. There's a lot of space behind there, and I don't know why the snowbanks are, you know, probably because she's complained she doesn't want gravel on the lawn. All kinds of fun stepping in after someone else has plowed for the season. I would not recommend doing it. She was already frustrated with the guy for letting it get narrow. Right over here, she's got a generator. It's been newly installed. That's one of the only prime places to push snow there. So she's got these two garage doors. Doesn't want any snow there. It's all. I mean, what can you do? This is heavy, wet snow. Things don't back drag that great. She called and complained. She also didn't realize that I had double plowed this. This was like an 18-inch storm by the time it was over. I mean, what are you supposed to do? What kind of thought has gone into this for someone in retirement age? I mean, they're just going to have to either shovel it themselves or pay someone. Like right now, it's obvious I don't even know what the fuck to do because of this foolishness in here. You know, I've got some heavy duty equipment. I'm in a 1-ton truck with one of the industry leading V plows, and so this is kind of my rant on picking up people in the middle of the season. I mean, look for red flags. There's going to be a bunch. Don't even do it. I wouldn't even recommend picking people up in the middle of the season. You know, she probably doesn't have nice things to say about me now. She was stressed out. She was in an emergency situation with a storm. It's a common thing to happen. She wanted that stuff pushed back more. So it's all frozen from the other guy. Short of a bulldozer, it's not going anywhere. So this is distracting me. I can't keep my thoughts going. But in our area, most of the people are working in offices and things like that, and there's less and less people that are laborers, blue collar, service oriented for plowing and all this other type of stuff. And there's become a huge demand for it in our area. The population, the amount of houses they're building is just, I don't know how many they're building in our area per year, but it's a lot. I wish there was two of me or another truck beside me that I had under remote control or something. I can't even find anyone to work with me. I could have set someone up with an entire plow route this season. This is driving me nuts just watching me do this. This is not the type of work that I want to do. There's nowhere to go with this snow. It's a good video to complain about, I guess. She wasn't happy with it, neither was I, so I didn't fight to try to keep her as a customer. Basically, I just made a little bit of money doing this during this blizzard and open it up so she could get out. And she's found someone new for this year. Thank goodness. So next week I'm going to be putting a set of Bilstein shocks to replace the stock shocks in the front end, and a set of Timbren bump stops, and also turn up the torsion bars in the front. This is actually my 2014 in this video, but now I've got a 2018 1-ton single rear wheel Chevy. Apparently with the plow prep package, the torsion bars versus the non-plow prep package in the same truck, the torsion bars are a heavier duty grade with the plow prep package, and they're not turned from the factory at all. And that's half the reason you see most of these new trucks stance so far low and, stance forward like that with their tail in the air. And that's basically must be a fuel economy thing. It's BS. It makes them not ride as good. They dive into the bumps and they look like shit. And lift a plow and it crushes the front end. So apparently these 1-ton Chevys with a plow prep package have a heavier duty set of torsion bars that do not come turned up at all from the factory. Through my research, that's what I've learned. And if you look under there, the bolts have a lot of thread showing on the adjusters. So I'm going to crank those up, not extreme, but a fair amount. Put those Timbrens in, Bilsteins in the front. Be interesting because I've plowed 2 storms with this 2018 now without that stuff. Now put that, and I got to see how it was, and I mean it did handle this. This is an 8.6 XV2, and it did handle. This is 2500 in the video and a 3500 1-ton single rear wheel. It handles the plow better, and it definitely handles the weight of the sander in the back better. But it'd be something to send the owner of this video. Not that I care or ever would, but I mean, I'm sure she has no idea how all these trees are, going right up over my truck. It's all part of it. I don't really care, but I do, because I make sure to tell people to have it trimmed back, or I will trim it back if they're going to remain a customer or client for me. I've done this for over 25 years. That's no joke. And it's like I told some people the other day, I am willing to do the work, but I'm not willing to deal with hassle. That's exactly what I told them. Driveways needs to be marked out before the ground freezes ahead of time. Branches need to be trimmed back. Rates need to be, confirmed. All this was up in the air with taking on a new one like this. Anyways, I guess that's it. That video's over.